According to Rafael Grossi, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, over 400 kilograms of enriched uranium remain unaccounted for following U.S. and Israeli airstrikes on key Iranian nuclear facilities. In an interview on CBS earlier this week, Grossi admitted, "We don't know where this nuclear material is now. Some of it may have been destroyed during the 12-day strike." He noted that Iran had enriched this uranium to 60% purity, just one technical step away from the roughly 90% needed for nuclear weapons, but it has since gone missing. Some of the material may have been destroyed, while other portions could have been relocated. This 400-kilogram stockpile, according to IAEA estimates, is enough to produce more than 9 nuclear warheads if further enriched to 90%. Israel launched its strike on June 13th, accusing Iran of edging toward a nuclear weapons capability, a claim that both the IAEA and U.S. intelligence had previously denied. On June 22nd, the U.S. joined the campaign with airstrikes targeting Iranian nuclear installations in Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. Iran denied the allegations and responded militarily. Last week, a U.S.-brokered ceasefire was agreed upon and has so far held. Despite substantial damage to Iran's nuclear infrastructure during the strikes, Grossi believes Tehran could resume uranium enrichment within a few months, stating that knowledge cannot be destroyed. He also revealed that Iranian officials informed the IAEA on or around June 13th that they were taking protective measures for their nuclear assets. A Western diplomat told Reuters that satellite imagery showed numerous trucks at Fordow days before the attack, suggesting much of the uranium there had already been moved. Former IAEA Inspector Olli Heinonen warned that verifying the uranium's whereabouts could take a long time, citing the need for forensic and environmental sampling. He said some material may be inaccessible, buried in rubble, or lost during the strikes. Iran has since suspended cooperation with the IAEA and rejected Grossi's offer to inspect the destroyed sites, including the main bunker. Iran's parliament also voted to cease compliance with routine monitoring under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, accusing the IAEA of failing to prevent the illegal military actions. Former U.S. President Donald Trump dismissed the possibility that Iran could have moved the uranium before the strikes, calling it risky and extremely difficult. He insisted that Iran did not move anything. They were just trying to save themselves from the attack. On June 30th, Tasnim News quoted the spokeswoman of Iran's Ministry of Roads and Urban Development, saying that Western and Central Iranian airspace had reopened for international overflight, while domestic flights between Western provinces and Tehran remained suspended. As regional security gradually stabilizes, several airlines have begun restoring services. Finnair announced it will resume flights to Doha starting July 1st, after a security-related suspension. On the same day, Qatar Airways confirmed it will restart routes to Iraq, Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria once regional airspace restrictions are lifted following the de-escalation between Israel and Iran. Specifically, flights to Iraq, Lebanon, and Jordan will resume on July 1st, and services to Syria will follow on July 6th. Satellite images released by Masa Technologies show Iran rebuilding its nuclear sites after U.S. strikes on June 21st. According to Newsweek, June 27th satellite photos captured heavy machinery, bulldozers, excavators, and trucks operating within the Fordow complex. The equipment appears to be filling in bomb craters, and new roads are being established for facility access. Concurrently, the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, reported that repair efforts have begun at Iran's Natanz uranium enrichment site. Imagery from commercial providers on June 27th shows a crater made by a U.S. KGBU-57 bunker buster bomb being filled in. ISW noted the presence of 2 bulldozers and a truck at the explosion site. In a recent statement, Grossi confirmed that several Iranian nuclear sites remain standing after 12 days of conflict. He noted the country's centrifuges could be operational again, and uranium enrichment could resume within a few months, if not sooner. Intercepted communications among senior Iranian officials reveal they consider the U.S. military campaign against Iran's nuclear program not as devastating as expected. The Washington Post, citing 4 U.S. intelligence sources, reported that intercepted Iranian conversations wondered why the strike ordered by President Trump was not as widespread or destructive as anticipated. The Trump administration did not deny intercepting these communications, but strongly disputed Iran's conclusion, questioning the accuracy of their damage assessments at the 3 targeted sites. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called it absurd to suggest unnamed Iranian officials know what's happening beneath hundreds of meters of rubble, and asserted their nuclear weapons program is finished. Analysts generally agree that the U.S. strikes, which included heavy bunker buster bombs and Tomahawk cruise missiles, inflicted serious damage on Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. But the extent of destruction and the time required for Iran to rebuild remain disputed. There is also a strong possibility that Tehran moved its enriched uranium reserves ahead of the U.S. strikes targeting facility access. During congressional testimony last week, CIA Director John Ratcliffe stated that several major nuclear facilities, including Iran's uranium conversion facility crucial for bomb core production, were completely destroyed. He warned Iran could take years to rebuild. U.S. intelligence assesses that most of Iran's enriched uranium may now be buried at sites near Isfahan and Fordow. Asked about the Washington Post's report, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence noted that a single stream of signals intelligence doesn't represent the full intelligence picture. Signals intelligence, intercepting phone calls, emails, and other communications, is one of the most powerful tools in U.S. intelligence, but it has limitations. Such snippets may lack context and must be cross-referenced with other information for a complete picture. Trump expressed anger when media reports contradicted his claims about the bombing campaign, timed to coincide with the ceasefire that ended the 12-day conflict. On the Just Social platform, he charged, "The Democrats are the ones who leaked the information. They should be prosecuted." He was referring to a preliminary Pentagon intelligence estimate that the U.S. strikes delayed Iran's nuclear program by only a few months, not years. On June 30th, U.S. President Donald Trump declared that he did not make any concessions to Iran and did not engage in direct dialogue, asserting that Tehran's nuclear facilities had been thoroughly destroyed. His statement was posted on the social media platform Chess Social. Meanwhile, Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister Majid Targhavanchi stated that direct negotiations between the U.S. and Iran cannot resume unless Washington commits to halting any further military action. Targhavanchi explained that the U.S. signaled a willingness to return to negotiations after the June 21st strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites, but Tehran insists on a clear assurance that such attacks will not recur during ongoing talks. He also noted that the U.S. had pledged not to target Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and reaffirmed Tehran's sovereign right to enrich uranium. According to him, the enrichment level and capacity may be negotiable, but a total cessation of uranium enrichment is unacceptable. While Israel has accused Iran of nearing a nuclear weapons capability, Tehran maintains its nuclear program is entirely for peaceful purposes. The extent of damage from the June 21st strikes remains uncertain, yet Trump asserted that Iran's nuclear sites were wiped out. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi has warned that Iran could resume uranium enrichment within a few months. Under the 2015 nuclear deal, Iran was permitted to enrich to no more than 3.67% for energy purposes. However, after the U.S. withdrawal from the deal in 2018 during Trump's presidency, Iran increased enrichment levels up to 60%, approaching the threshold for weapons-grade material if further refined. On June 30th, Iran's foreign ministry accused the U.S. of failing to uphold diplomatic efforts, arguing that Washington had encouraged Israel's military strikes right before the 6th indirect negotiation round mediated by Oman. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Baghir stated that this cannot be denied as it affects the continuation of dialogue. On June 29th, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei criticized President Trump's claims, saying that Trump greatly exaggerated the success of the airstrike campaign. Posting on X, he wrote that anyone who heard Trump's remarks knows there's a different reality behind them, asserting that they couldn't accomplish anything and exaggerated to hide the truth. Earlier, in an interview with a French outlet about the 12-day Israel-Iran conflict, Trump claimed, "We stepped in, we destroyed Iran's nuclear capability, and we stopped." He added, "Iran couldn't go on any further." The 12-day conflict erupted the night of June 12th into the morning of June 13th, when Israel launched airstrikes on Iran's nuclear and military sites, followed by Iranian retaliation with missiles and drones. On the night of June 21st into June 22nd, the U.S. joined the fight with airstrikes targeting three key Iranian nuclear sites: Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. Iran then retaliated with an attack targeting a U.S. military facility in Qatar. The conflict claimed at least 606 lives and injured 5,332 individuals in Iran, while Israel suffered at least 29 fatalities and over 3,400 injuries. The war ended with a ceasefire agreement on June 24th, concluding the 12-day confrontation. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio condemned threats against IAEA Director Rafael Grossi circulating in Iranian media. On June 29th, Russia's RT channel reported that Rubio's remarks followed Iranian media labeling Grossi a spy for Israel and calling for his prosecution and execution if he entered Iran. On X, Rubio stated, "Calls within Iran to arrest and execute IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi are unacceptable and must be condemned." He added, "We support the critical verification and monitoring work of the IAEA in Iran, and we commend the dedication and professionalism of the Director General and his agency. We call on Iran to ensure the safety and security of the IAEA staff." Earlier on June 28th, Iran's Parliament Vice Speaker Hamid Reza Haji Baibai announced that Iran will not permit IAEA Director General Grossi to inspect nuclear facilities or install monitoring cameras after discovering that facilities previously monitored by the IAEA appeared in Israeli documents. That same day, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Esmail Bagaye told RT that Iranians are upset that the IAEA condemned Iran's strikes on its nuclear facilities less forcefully. Meanwhile, on June 28th, Grossi predicted Iran might begin enriched uranium production in a few months despite the damage from U.S. and Israeli airstrikes. Speaking to CBS News, aired June 28th, Grossi reiterated that the IAEA has no confirmed information on the current location of Iran's 60% enriched uranium, and that resolving this issue will take time. On June 13th, Israel initiated a bombing campaign targeting Iranian nuclear and military facilities to prevent weaponization. On June 22nd, the U.S. engaged directly, bombing key nuclear sites at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. President Trump asserted the strikes have set back Iran's nuclear program by decades. According to the Times of Israel, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, SIC, denied reports that the Fordow facility escaped heavy damage, saying on June 25th that evidence indicates the site was buried under rubble, flattened, and extensively damaged. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas al-Araghchi acknowledged the damage to nuclear sites was severe, though he did not offer specifics. Following the strikes, IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Ayaan Jamil said Iran is no longer close to becoming a nuclear state. A knowledgeable source told the Times of Israel on June 27th that Jamil believes while Iran may maintain some nuclear elements, its bomb-making infrastructure has been significantly and irreversibly damaged. This includes the loss of key scientists and a hit to nuclear and chemical weapons production. During a recent visit to Turkmenistan, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met with local officials and spoke to students at the Institute of International Relations in Ashgabat. He highlighted that the escalating Iran-Israel conflict challenges global geopolitics and directly endangers Central Asian security. For Turkmenistan, a country sharing over 1,100 kilometers of border with Iran and whose capital is just miles from the frontier, these tensions pose grave humanitarian and security risks. In addition, there's a danger of awakening extremist networks and destabilizing an already fragile balance. Lavrov's appeal for de-escalation carries weight, given Moscow's ties in the region. For Russia, Iran serves as part of a strategic buffer to its southern flank. Instability in Tehran could spill over into Central Asia and threaten other post-Soviet states with political and military ties to Moscow. Earlier this year, January, Russia and Iran signed a full strategic partnership agreement, hinting at a potential formal alliance. Notably, just days after the Israeli strikes, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Arashi flew to Moscow to meet with Putin and Lavrov. He later described the visit as one marked by complete mutual understanding, thanking Russia in an interview with Al Arabi Al Jadid. Russia, along with China and Pakistan, introduced a UN Security Council resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire and a pathway to a political solution, as noted by Russian UN envoy Vasily Nebenzia. However, Moscow has been careful with its public messaging. At the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, President Putin avoided overt confrontation with Israel and instead emphasized the need for a broadly acceptable diplomatic solution. Russia's measured stance reflects its balancing act, deepening ties with Tehran while maintaining valuable channels with Israel in military and humanitarian matters. This position allows Moscow to potentially serve as a discreet mediator if either party seeks diplomatic resolution. On June 13th, as Israeli airstrikes intensified, Russia quickly condemned the attacks and expressed strong concern over Iranian sovereignty violations. Putin went further by calling U.S. actions in the region groundless aggression. Days before Arashi's Kremlin visit, Putin revealed that Moscow had offered Iran expanded cooperation on air defense systems, a proposal Tehran did not accept. Clearly, this was not a rebuke, but a strategic nudge. If the partnership were truly strategic, Iran would act on it. Intriguingly, following Arashi's Kremlin trip, President Trump unexpectedly called for a ceasefire in significantly softer tones, except for a few critical social media posts. This shift suggests Moscow's influence may have subtly reshaped the diplomatic narrative. After all, Russia remains one of the few actors engaged with both Tehran and Tel Aviv. It's entirely possible the Kremlin acted as an unsung mediator behind the scenes, helping to secure at least a temporary halt to hostilities.